And it started. Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Report. Here it is, Friday night, week 17 of the NFL season, and it is over. The regular season will end on Sunday. Fortunately, some of us have something to play for. Unfortunately, those poor Eagles don't. So we got some interesting news going on out there. It looks like Tony Romo is going to play a few series, which is kind of a surprise to me. I don't know what you guys think. That it's going to help us a whole heck of a lot. I think the risk is not worth the reward. When you think about Philadelphia, we've had some bad injuries in Philly, and I'm sure the Eagles would like nothing better than to send Tony Romo into retirement at their house, because basically they got nothing to play for. It's been a crappy season, and what can you say? Well, I tell you what, it looks like Joe Boo needs a refill. And speaking of those poor Eagles, to let you guys know, I even care about you guys. I'm going to pour one for all my Eagle friends out there, my homies that are suffering with BTS, especially you, Tommy Eagle. I know how hard the season's been for you guys. I mean, you went from having the hope of Carson Wentz being the next Joe Montana, 3-0, leading the division, to basically the garbage heap. So this one is for you guys. But how about those Dallas Cowboys? Now, I got to tell you, the talking heads out there, it seems like the Dallas Cowboys are the only team in the NFL, because it seems like every single show, every day, is always the headlines of the Dallas Cowboys. It's almost like the Cowboys have an unfair advantage because everybody is giving them advice on how to do stuff. And how in the world the Cowboys could make it without their help, I just couldn't tell you. So I have my lovely wife, Tracy, over here, who's reading some of the emails and stuff that are coming up. So what do we have so far for us tonight, Tracy?
So you just got a few people in the house saying, hey, what's up? The Ray LC 1981, Vista Plays, Robert A. Mann, Big Bear Castro, Gamma Ray Productions. All these folks are in the room.
Yeah. That's for good old Tony Romo and all his fans out there that have been wanting him to play. He's ready to play. So, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what we get out of Tony Romo. I don't know if this is like a farewell swan song, if it is that they really think it's getting him some action to get ready for the season, in case he's needed. I'm not sure what Jerry's doing other than another circus event.
All right. QBaby04 Scorch says, who do you think is going to the Super Bowl in the AFC, and how far will the Raiders go? Also, love your videos.
Well, thank you very much for enjoying the videos and things. I'm sorry, but I hate to say this because I'm about sick of seeing them in the Super Bowl every year, but you almost have to say New England. I really do, because
Discover card. I'm not a customer, but I'm calling about that credit score.
Because New England, you never can bet against Bill Belichick. I lost you? Okay. You never bet against Bill Belichick because for whatever reason, they're always there. And it seems like whenever they have a penalty against them, they always make it to the Super Bowl. So I hate to say that. I dare say it'll be New England on that side. What else you got for us, Trey?
Roderick Atcherson says, pour one for me, Mark. They need us for rating.
No, yeah, they do need us for ratings, because without the Dallas Cowboys, they'd have nothing to talk about. But seriously, though, teams like Jacksonville, they get no love. Tampa Bay, very rarely. It's always Dallas Cowboys. And it seems like the Dallas Cowboys are the ones that are always making mistakes, and they're the only team in the NFL with problems. It gets to be ridiculous, I got to tell you. But how about a shout out for our defense that everybody keeps calling suspect? I was talking about this the other day, that our defense, as bad as everybody says they are 12th in yards, but that stat's not the one that I care about. the one that I care about is that they're fourth in defensive scoring. So if you don't give up more points than the other team, generally speaking, you're going to win. And the defense has actually been coming along with the sacks. We're 14th in the league in sacks and 12th in sack yardage. So hats off to those guys. Now, it looks like we're going to be resting most of the defensive line on Sunday. And hopefully we'll end up having Tyrone Crawford back. We'll have DeMarcus Lawrence back. And it looks like Morris Claiborne's going to start practicing next week. So he'll be back for the playoffs. So look for our defense to do some real damage.
Gamma Ray says, what would you do if you were in full control this Sunday?
What would I do if I were in full control? I would probably play Dak Prescott the starters for the first half and get everybody off the field and let the backups play in the second half. I don't think I would play Tony Romo because, it's kind of like being an idiot. It's better to let people think you're an idiot than to open your mouth and let them know that you're an idiot. And if Tony Romo goes out there and gets hurt, then any trade value that you may possibly have is gone. But, I'm not the general manager. I'm not the owner of the team, so the team's going to do what they want to do.
Lim Harden says, did you see the backpedal Chris Carter made about Dez?
No, actually, I missed that. But I did see the original broadcast on that because basically he's like, he should have made 6 touchdowns. He should be embarrassed that he only got 2 touchdowns and blah, blah, blah. And I was kind of like, really? Yeah, Tony, we'll get to you, Tony. We'll get to you. Yeah, we know Tony's ready to play. I'm trying to understand why it is that most of the NFL talking heads just have it in for the Cowboys, because anything that Dallas Cowboys do, it's always the worst thing in the world. It was kind of crazy because if you heard yesterday, they were going off on First Take about Dak Prescott. He was asked about the triplets. And his response was, he said, I would love to be like the triplets one day, where we're winning lots of games and Super Bowls and things like that. And all of a sudden, they turned it around and made it, he's disrespecting the triplets. How dare he say that he's one of them and stuff like that? And it's kind of like, what the are you talking about? So they kind of twist it around and try and make it look like something when there really isn't anything there. So with Chris Carter, I couldn't understand why he went off, but I'm sure he probably did backpedal because, he probably got a lot of flack for it. And that's not the first time he said something and had to backpedal about.
Okay. Loki says, it might be the last time we see Romo in game action for us. They should give him the whole fourth quarter. Thoughts?
Well, that's what when I first heard that they were going to play Romo, I was thinking that had it been a home game, that it would be a great way to kind of say, okay, we know you're leaving next year. Thank you, blah, 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 because really he wouldn't have played in Dallas since he got injured that last year. And to have a farewell in Philadelphia is kind of messed up. But I think that's basically what it's going to be because he's not happy being on the sidelines.
Back to Roots agrees with you. They hate New England. Cheat treats.
Yeah. I've unfortunately seen them in the Super Bowl just too many times.
Who are the biggest threats in the NFC?
Everybody. You can't relax. This is professional football. Take everything that happened during the regular season and throw it out the window because it means nothing. You can be the best team. You can be 15-1. You can have the MVP. It doesn't matter. I remember us being the number 1 seed, having a week off, and having the New York Giants, who barely made it into the playoffs, come to our house, kick our butts, and go all the way to the Super Bowl and beat the 17-0 New England Patriots. So forget about thinking that nobody is a threat. There is no such thing as a pushover when it comes to playoffs. And if you're thinking that we got it easy, you've already lost.
You really like that video you did with Stephen A. Smith with the Jeffersons theme song.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that you guys enjoy the videos and stuff. For me, this is a lot of fun, and I'm just glad that you guys enjoy it. And as you see up here now, Joe Boo phone line, if you guys want to call in. Michael, there's the number right there. As far as the trade value, I did see that from Gamma Ray. Thanks for tuning in tonight, man. When you look around the NFL, when you see that there aren't quarterbacks out there, there really aren't. Tyrod Taylor, basically Buffalo's given up on. So they're starting from zero. The Jets, they've got nobody, Miami has Tannehill, but Tannehill's been kind of not really that much of anything. So there's a need for quarterbacks out there. So it's possible that you could get a number one. I'm not sure we'd get a number one. I'd be happy even getting a number two, because when you look at it, Romo could have gotten knocked out and you got nothing. So I think a number one or number two is possible.
A couple folks have said, are questioning whether Sanchez can be a better backup than Romo.
Well, here's the thing. Let's be honest. Mark Sanchez has won more playoff games than Tony Romo. Yeah, he's had his butt fumble moments. Yes, he's not an elite quarterback. He's a game manager, but I dare say with this offense, a game manager would be pretty good with that system. And here's what you got to understand with football. Football is a delicate balance. You have to not spend too much in one area to make sure that you can spread it around. You're better off having 4 good guys than 1 great guy, because chances are that one guy is going to get hurt. And if we spend $25 million on having Tony Romo as a backup, that's 3 or 4 guys that maybe we can have on the defense or as backups to fill in instead of sitting on the bench.
Do you feel like we haven't been using Beasley that much lately because we've been saving him for playoffs?
I don't think that it's that so much that is. I think that the defensive coordinators are actually keying on Beasley because he is our number 1 receiver right now in yardage. And they're trying to take him away because they figure, okay, Dez has quite a few drops. He hasn't been getting open that often downfield. Jason Witten doesn't really scare us, but Cole Beasley can kind of hide in behind there and he can go ahead and go to the house. So I think it's just a matter of defense is concentrating on him more than so on the other guys. And that's the great thing about this offense. And I kind of said this earlier in the season, it can kind of rotate. It's not like you have Pittsburgh where you have, 1 great receiver in Antonio Brown, that if you shut him down, you're slowing down the whole offense. Any one of these players out here can be the man that kills you every week. So by spreading that ball around the way they do, it's impossible for defensive coordinators to stop it.
A couple of folks are asking for the number again. Maybe it's the telephone number, not just the Skype number.
Oh, well, it's the telephone number. We're going to be doing some Skyping where you guys like to be in and be on the screen here. And there's the number for you guys again. Can you see that? Or is it a little too small?
Just read it.
903-345-JOBU is the telephone number. 903-345-JOBU.
Johnny says, if we win, Dak breaks Big Ben's record of the most wins by a rookie in a season. Is that true?
That is true. Right now, it's tied with it. There's so many records out there that Dak Prescott has gotten, and I'm just amazed at how the talking heads and everybody out there is so ready to go ahead and pull Dak at the drop of the hat, because they're already talking about, well, if Dak struggles in the first or second quarter of a playoff game, do you bench him? And I'm sitting here thinking that no other quarterback out there do they talk about doing that to. I look at Aaron Rodgers the first half of the season, he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. But, here it is with Dak Prescott, who has now, I believe, 8 or 9 games, a 70 or better completion rate, which is an NFL record that he took away from Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning. They only had 6 in one season. To have the second highest completion rate, here we go. Hello, you're on the Joe Boo Sports Report. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, how you doing tonight?
Man, I love your show, man. I'm new to the show. I just want to ask you one question.
Sure, what's the question you got?
You think our pass rush can get any better?
Well, it can always get better. It's actually come a long ways in the last 3 games, because when you look at us getting 11 sacks in 3 games, that's pretty good. We're actually 14th in sacks. I think once DeMarcus Lawrence, if he can get past the nagging injuries, gets out there, along with Tyrone Crawford, that rotation that we have is going to be really good. One person who doesn't get talked about a lot is Collins. Collins has actually had a really, really good season for a rookie, and dare I say, he's going to end up being a beast, as well, of course, as David Irving. David Irving is, every week is impressing me more and more. So, it can always get better, and I think as we get everybody back on the field, you're going to see this defense be able to turn it up another notch. All right?
Hey, man, that's what I want to hear, man.
Thank you.
Hey, I love the show, man. I love it.
Thank you very much, man. You have a great night, and we'll see you Sunday.
All right, so Vincent Scott said, what's up, Mark? Finally caught you live. Give him a shout out.
Vincent, Thanks for catching me live, man. I enjoy doing this stuff because I love interacting directly with you guys. We're constantly trying to improve the show. I'm working on getting a Skype number so that way you guys will actually be able to Skype in, and you guys will be able to see yourselves on the little television monitor here. And as always, if you guys have some suggestions or ideas, hold on here. We got another call in.
Michael.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2. To accept.
Hello, Michael. You're on the air. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Florida. How you doing?
I bet you're not as nice as you are down in Florida.
Yeah, it's very nice down here. Can't complain. What's that? But,
So,
yeah, I called in to talk about Romo.
uh-huh.
Being supporter of Romo, I think he's taking a lot of slack over the years. Unwarranted. Guys played on a lot of bad teams, and at the end of the day, though, I think he's been pretty much a top 10 quarterback for us throughout the whole time he's been playing for us.
Well,
look at a guy that.
I won't disagree with you on that because Tony Romo has some fantastic numbers. He has been absolutely incredible because a lot of times, we wouldn't have had 8-8 seasons without what Tony Romo ended up doing. Unfortunately, time catches up with you, and that's the problem that you have now. And to me, it's kind of like when you think about your hometown that you grew up in, you always remember all the good stuff, but you don't remember about the factory that was around the corner and stuff, some of the bad times and things that happened. And unfortunately, Romo down the road because of the hits and everything he's done. When you think about how many times he's gotten injured in the last 5 games, you've got to be able to count on him. And that's the sad thing about it, because there's nothing I would have liked seeing better than him to have a ring.
Yeah, I think some guys in life, there's a whole Rod Stewart song.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys can't have all the fluff, right? Some
That's
guys
right.
have all the great.
Yeah.
That's not Tony Romo. That's Dak Prescott. I think Prescott came into the perfect situation with the offensive line and the veterans that he has there and the great running game. The guy has the anointing right now. They're gonna win the Super Bowl. No one's gonna.
Well, but here's now one thing as far as that.
Right now with the pass rush.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think Romo's done yet. I think he's actually going to go to another team. The 2 teams that I think that he's going to go to next year.
Yeah.
The 2 top choices is either Miami or the Houston Texans. I think the Dolphins are a little bit worried with Ryan Tannehill and
the injury. Yeah.
I think they'll be very concerned about that. I think they're kind of wavering if they want to give him surgery or not.
Right.
So that's a possible destination for Romo. And I think he'll have his chance. I think he'll make one more run. And I really do believe this will be the last time we'll see Romo in a Cowboy uniform this week. I think
you're right on that one.
Prescott the first quarter.
Yeah.
Prescott the first quarter. Sanchez the second. Romo's going to play the second half.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling. Okay. A lot of people figure that Dak just walked into the situation and everything's perfect. He took the situation and he made it his own because there was no chance that Dak Prescott was going to keep that job unless he played the way he did. The fact that he was still winning game after game after game and people were still questioning whether or not he should still be playing goes to show how well he's played.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello, welcome to Joe Sports Report. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, how you doing, Hookem? Uh-huh.
I didn't mean to say Steven. I said Steven. I said Trevor Steven.
Oh, Trevor. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, Trevor Simeon. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so what's your question tonight?
How do you feel confident about Tony Romo? Like last year he got injured in Philadelphia. We know all the history about Philadelphia injured players like Michael Irvin and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like Tony Romo was saved out there in Philly tomorrow night, or do you feel like he's gonna get injured or something like that? Because that's what I'm afraid of.
Well, I'll be honest that Tony Romo can get injured at any time with the way his back and stuff has been. It doesn't take much of a hit, and the Eagles have nothing to play for. They wouldn't probably mind taking him out. So, hopefully he doesn't get hurt and we get a win and we can get out of here healthy. Thanks for calling.
Emma Ray says, do you think it's at all possible that Tony's trade value could go up if he performs well this Sunday?
Oh, without a doubt, it could definitely go up. But the question is, will he make it through the game? 3 out of the last 5 games, he hasn't. And you think about preseason, it wasn't that much of a hit. I mean, maybe it was a funny hit, but there's all kinds of funny hits every time out there.
Boone Highlights wants to know if you'll ever do live feed during the actual game instead of just at halftime.
We probably could, but I kind of like to focus and get my notes and stuff and thoughts together. We'll see about that one. We don't have too many regular season games to go.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
You're on the Joby Sports Report. Where are you calling and what's your name?
Michael Lex from Allentown.
Hey, how you doing? How's it in Allentown?
Oh, it's great.
Okay. So what's your question tonight?
I was wondering if you think Jason Garrett should be the coach of the year.
As much as I have always down Jason Garrett because of some of the stuff that's gone on and being kind of Jerry Jones's puppet, this year he's running it like a CEO. I mean, he's not actually coaching the X's and O's, so to speak, but he's kind of keeping control of the team. The only thing I would say as a knock is I would have liked Jason Garrett to have come out sooner and saying, this is Dak Prescott, my quarterback, and we're going to run with him as far as we can go and give him a little more support as opposed to Jerry doing what he's doing. But Jerry Jones is the owner and, quote, unquote, the general manager of the team, so Jerry's going to be Jerry. Other than that, I think he's done a great job. Thank you for calling. Hi.
Call from
Andre.
to accept, press 1.
Hello, Andre. You're on the Jobu Sports Report. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, nice to finally meet you. My name is Dallas Cowboys on YouTube. I'm calling from Northern Virginia.
Hey.
And right here on break right now at lunch, just watching your show live. Great job, man. Keep up the good work.
Well, thank you very much.
I talked with my coworkers about the Cowboys, and is it safe to say that possibly Rod Marinelli and Scott Linehan deserve more credit than Jason Garrett, and maybe should really be considered MVP of this team at this point?
Well, I think Linehan is probably going to be a head coach someplace else next year. I'm hoping that we can keep Rod Martinelli because Rod Martinelli has a way of getting the most out of the least. And you look at what he's been able to do with our defensive line, basically taking no-name guys and turning them into, nice pass rushers and things. So, yeah, they both deserve a lot of credit. But, you look at the top and everything that goes on beneath you, you're responsible for. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, I guess so. And my last question was, at this point, let's say Tony Romo does stay next year. I know I'm not into a quarterback today. I believe Dak has earned the right to be the starter for the Dallas Cowboys. But let's say Tony Romo does take that pay cut or he's not trading anywhere else. Is there going to be another quarterback competition next year, if any at all? Or do you see Romo?
I can't see Tony. The way you start looking at Tony Romo on the sidelines now, I don't see there's any way that you keep Tony Romo with that kind of contract and that situation there behind it, because sooner or later Dak's going to have a couple of bad games, and you don't want to have this quarterback controversy. It's not good for Romo. It's not good for Dak, and I certainly don't think it's good for the Cowboys. Okay? All right. Thank you for calling.
Thanks so much, my God. A lot of fans here in Northern Virginia, man.
Thank you.
All right, Jim, good work. Good night, man.
Bye.
Bill B says that Eagles shot glass on the table needs to be removed.
No, hey, come on. We're trying to help out the less fortunate, okay? It's the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, think about it. The Giants are in the playoffs. We're in the playoffs. The Redskins have a chance to get in the playoffs. What do the Eagles have?
All right, the Sandman has a question. Do you think you're working on it?
Good.
And opening a place for other people like Dunbar, McFadden, moving Dez around, screens, etc. for playoffs?
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail,
I'm sorry, I didn't get
press 2.
all of that question. Let me get this one real quick.
Okay.
To accept, press 1. To
Blake, you really help.
Hey, Blake. Hey, Blake. Blake. Yeah, how are you doing tonight? Oh, Shannon, I'm sorry. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm enjoying the show here. The topic I wanted to bring up is how good it was for Mark Sanchez to step up to the plate and really help out Dak. You know, you've been mentioning his name a lot.
Yeah.
And I think it's good for Dak, man.
Oh, I think it's definitely good. You know, that's the thing that's great about this is, for once, I feel like the Dallas Cowboys are truly a team. Thank you for calling it. You know, when you look at Dak and Zeke cutting each other up in the locker room with the spitballs and the M&M stuff, you know, when you see Zeke buying the stuff with the offensive linemen and finding out these guys are hanging out together, these guys are truly a team, and they're truly working together to try and achieve something. You know, even though Dez Bryant isn't getting the ball as much as he used to, he doesn't care. He only cares about winning, and see, winning cures everything, and that's what I really love about this team.
Gamma Ray wants to know, when is the last time the Cowboys played 3 quarterbacks in one game?
Wow, you're asking me a trivia question. That's a good question, because actually, you know, come to think of it, I'm trying to think of how they're doing that, because technically you're only supposed to have 2 quarterbacks, and the third is an emergency one if the other 2 get hurt. So I'm actually not sure how they're getting around that rule. I can't say I remember the last time we had to play 3 quarterbacks, if ever. So what else you got for us, Tracy?
Sorry, I was Googling this question.
Okay, okay. I'm glad we got dead air there, honey. Okay.
Sorry. In fact, now I've lost the feed.
Okay, so my wife is having technical difficulties. Yeah, well, yeah, I don't really want the Redskins in the playoff either. Their offense actually scares me. And where's Tommy Eagle? Tommy Eagle, he's still locked in the garage where his wife knows she's safe. It never happened. They never played 3 quarterbacks. Okay, so I'm glad to hear that one.
Oh, someone found that?
Yeah. And everything, it's the only thing, Nick, I agree with you on that one. Skins, you know, and speaking of the Skins fans, here, a thank you for many of them. I mean, basically, we have kept their playoff hopes on life support by winning the last 2 weeks. You know, and they've been rooting for us. They could at least thank us. Send us a bottle of rum or something. What's my wife's salary? Hugs and kisses. Skins don't scare me, just hate their fans. Okay.
I hope you're not paying her real money.
What's the difference between this year and the 2014 season? In the 2 of them, I'd say that the offense is a little bit more balanced than even it was back then. And we're not having as many turnovers as we did there. Remember, DeMarco Murray had a tendency to lose the ball and fumble sometimes at the most inopportune times. We're not getting those turnovers. In fact, we are, I believe, 6th in giveaway and takeaways in the NFL. So I'd say that's the biggest difference. Other than that, they're very similar teams. The defense is a little bit better. Why are the Packers overhyped? Because they're not the Dallas Cowboys. That's why. And it's so funny because all the talking heads are talking about, oh, well, I think the Dallas Cowboys defense is going to let them down. And the last I checked, there's only 2 defenses that are rated above us. And that's the Seattle Seahawks and the New York Giants. New York Giants and us are like neck and neck. We're like 0.3 of points less in scoring defense and only a few yards in yards per game. But yet somehow they think that our defense is going to let us down. But when you look at Seattle and their offense, which is putrid, as well as the Giants, I dare say that our offense is so much far and away better than both of those teams. And we don't have an offense. Green Bay's defense is terrible. Excuse me. Atlanta doesn't have a defense. Okay. What else? Are you back on track, Ms. Holmes?
I am, but you're at the end. There are no more questions.
There's no more questions. I guarantee you missed some.
Someone said, give me a nice Christmas present.
Okay, your Christmas present will be a Super Bowl win. How's that?
That's your Christmas present.
Okay, I'm spreading my Christmas present around.
Okay, someone just came in.
The Lions could be better. Well, the problem with the Lions is Mark Stafford's finger has been bothering him, and so he's not as accurate as he has been. Also, too, I won't say that the Packers have been playing the toughest of teams of late either. And that's one of those things that kind of go in there. And automatically people look at, oh, they won 5 games in a row. Well, what were the 5 teams that you won against?
Sandman wants to know what are the 3 keys to getting to the Super Bowl, not including health.
Scoring more points would be number 1. Staying healthy would be number 2.
No, you're excluding health.
Excluding health.
So take health off the table.
Scoring more points, keeping from turning the ball over more than the other team, and keeping it's having a great defense. I mean,
karma, man, you need karma.
Oh, karma. Oh, that goes without saying. I mean, that's without saying, honey. Or am I going to do other Cowboy-related shows? Oh, we are definitely going to be doing other shows during the off season. I mean, because of course, hopefully, we'll go all the way through the Super Bowl. And then come first couple weeks in March, we have free agency, and it'll be interesting to see with the Cowboys having some cash, what we do. And then, of course, it's the build up to the draft. And so, we'll be covering everything all off season, all the way through, because there's always football to talk about.
You got 2 personal questions. They want to know, how's your knee doing, and how old are you?
Oh boy, old enough to have a bad knee. How's that? Okay. Been bad for years. I messed it up in high school, tore the ACL, and continued to play football on it for years after that and things. So it's just degenerated. It's one of those things that's just chronic. I didn't do that video yesterday for sympathy. I was just trying to give you guys some insight to what happens after football. And we forget that these guys, that they do so much to stay on the field, that they're human. And that they hurt. I mean, week after week, these guys are getting injections. They're getting treatment. They're getting stuff that you wouldn't imagine. And that was just to kind of give you a little taste of it. But my knee, it's actually a little bit better after that shot. So hopefully the 3rd shot will be the charm.
And how old are you?
51.
Do you think, this is
Hey, Francis.
Massey, do you think we should try to get Greg Hardy back?
No. I was a big fan of Greg Hardy's when we signed him originally because we needed a pass rush, and I overlooked the off the field issues, and he truly was a cancer. Unfortunately, between the drugs, between the practicing when he wanted to practice, the attitude, the undisciplinedness, you don't want that on the team. You're better off having a guy who listens and wants to play and who's hungry than a guy who is a cancer. And when you have that locker room divided, you're not going to win.
Hookham says Nick Saban is the reason why Jason Garrett is winning games.
I would say Jason Garrett is winning games because he has a good team around him right now. You've got players. I mean, you look at that offense. It's true that Dak Prescott had the perfect situation being a rookie quarterback, having an offensive line like that, having a running back like Ezekiel Elliott, having veteran receivers out there. So it was a great situation. And if you don't have the players, it's really hard to win. And right now, they do have the talent on the field.
What happened to SAS? Did he fall off the earth? What was SAS?
SAS.
I don't know.
Oh, Stephen A. Smith.
Oh.
Stephen A. Smith. No, he's on vacation. And see, they're moving from ESPN2 to ESPN1 on Tuesday. So it'll be interesting to see what they have to say now that the playoffs are here and the Cowboys aren't 8-8 in an accident waiting to happen.
Mark, would you rather play Seattle or Atlanta in a championship game?
I don't really care as long as we're in the championship game, to be honest with you. Seattle's offense is terrible. It would be nice to see our offense against their defense. And it'd be nice to actually get a little payback against Seattle.
Lim Harden says, if Dak was a higher draft pick, would he have gotten all the negative comments?
I don't think so, because I think you just hit the nail on the head. Because they ended up saying that Carson Wentz and Jared Goff were going to be these great quarterbacks, and nobody gave Dak Prescott anything, they're kind of looking because they say, see, we were right about this guy. He's not a franchise quarterback. Because when you start hearing and looking at some of the things they keep saying about Carson Wentz, who has 14 touchdowns and 14 interceptions, and he's throwing picks into double coverage, to me, he truly looks like a real rookie, and he's got, dare I say, bust written on him a little bit there. Time will tell as they get players and stuff on it. But, yeah, I think that there is a little bit of bias because, you know, someone will come out and say there's a reason why he was drafted in the 4th round. The reason why is because you guys are idiots.
Do you think the Giants make it out of the first round of playoffs? Sandman wants to know.
I don't think their offense is going to be good. Their defense is playing lights out. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think that Eli is going to get past. And I'm so sick of hearing about Eli Manning. He's a playoff quarterback. He'll turn it on come playoff time. Well, I'm not sure that this is the same Eli that was, 6 years ago. What position did I play? I played nose guard. I was a short, fat guy, so to speak, plugging up the middle. Okay. Yeah, it would have been better if I had been a little fatter. I could have used a little extra weight.
Where's that picture?
We're not pulling any pictures down, honey. We're not doing that, baby.
I'm going to post it on Facebook. All right. What drives you about telling truth as compared to corporate analysts?
I like I think that as fans that you're educated enough to know the difference when somebody is BSing you or not. And I'll be honest with you, I enjoy watching First Take, proving them wrong. But I really do. My wife's laughing at me because I listen to some of the stuff and it's like people don't really believe this. And I figure that, I can be the fact checker, so to speak, of the shows. I just enjoy proving people wrong. And I love to debate. It looks like, okay, there we go. Mark, your wife is taking the show all the way to the top. Every successful man has a woman providing a top-notch support, and shout out to the wives. I agree with you. Shout out to the wives. Okay, as long as she doesn't make me take down any more of my stuff down here, we're good.
That's so sweet. Chris White says Dak is young and black. Let's stop beating around the bush.
It's hard to believe that at this day and age and things, but yeah. And it's so funny because I remember when Doug Williams, won the Super Bowl. And of course, black quarterback had never won the Super Bowl until he did. But I even remember, because I'm so old, of when Gilliam played with Pittsburgh with Terry Bradshaw. And Joe Gilliam was fantastic. Didn't get the starts. Didn't get to play. He was gone, I think, in a year or two. And unfortunately, it's sad because a black guy just did not get the opportunity until really Doug Williams broke the color barrier and won that Super Bowl. Thomas Barnes, you're welcome. I'm not sure what you're thanking me for, but you're welcome. So people want to know, are you a Dallas Cowboy fan?
She's a fan. Well, because of what I do, I have to love all my children equally. So I manage United Way's partnership with the National Football League, which means I have to have an amount of admiration and respect for all NFL teams, and particularly the players that work with United Way.
In other words, she's saying she can't be biased to one or the other. Yeah. Anyway, I am a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan.
I am a fan of Mark Holmes.
She's a fan of mine, and she does like Dak Prescott and Zeke Elliott. It's kind of hard not to like those two. Gilliam did have drug issues. Yeah, I know. But maybe some of the pressure that he was facing could have been part of that, too. It's funny because you're Bobby Johnson, that your wife's a Redskin fan. It's so funny because I know so many couples that are Dallas Cowboys and Redskins, and same thing in families and stuff. And actually, that's one of the things that I love about football. Tom Donnelly, a lot of you guys think he's completely nuts, and well, actually, he is completely nuts. But he's really cool people because he went out of his way a couple years back for me to get tickets to the Eagles training camp so Joe Boo could go up there and actually put some bad mojo on him. I've actually met him and his wife out in California and stuff, and we're actually really good friends. But the great thing about football is the trash talking. I mean, you only have the game for 3 hours on Sunday, but you got that trash talking all week long, and I just absolutely love it. Okay, so she's a Cowboy fan. Your wife is very articulate. Yes, she actually is the brains of the organization here. She is the writer, as a matter of fact. So whenever I have something I need to write and put out and all that, she says I have great ideas, but she's able to put it, into words. Hello? Can you turn your phone down? I'm sorry, can you turn the radio down? Yeah, how you doing tonight? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Flacco Stacks, up in Marlboro, Maryland.
Oh, how you doing, man? What can we do for you tonight? I'm doing great.
They told me Romo will play this weekend. They kept him in the shotgun. But should be able to protect him a little bit more.
Well, let's hope so. You know, he's going to play, say, like 2 series and see what he's got. So they'll probably play him earlier than opposed to later and have the starting offensive line out there for him. It'll be interesting to see how he plays, having not played since training camp. So hopefully he'll get through, look good, and that'll be it. All right. Thanks for your call.
Nice show. I like your show. And I like your show.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah, a lot of people have been commenting about Joe Boo needing a seatbelt. I guess we'll have to get him a booster seat or something because, you know, he's kind of small and that seatbelt just doesn't really work for him. Shannon Sharp, you know, a lot of people keep saying I should watch, you know, Undisputed. But I'm sorry. I just can't get over Shannon Sharp because it's so fake. Skip? No, Skip? Oh, it's just like, come on, man. This is just as hokey as can be. I know you don't like the Cowboys, but nobody is that. Anyway. Is Tom? I keep telling Tom to make that YouTube channel, Gamma Ray. He's going to get that together. You know, he's just that, you know, Eagles fans aren't quite that bright. So I got to help him with it.
Sam wants to know if you've heard anything on Jalen Smith.
Jalen Smith is coming along. They supposedly the knee is firing, but he won't play, of course, this year. This year he's on IR. So hopefully next year he'll end up being part of that defense. And if he's anything, that draft that we just had will be unbelievable. You know, you don't expect to hit on that many players in one draft, and we had a boatload. And why is Joe Boo so ugly? Joe Boo grows on you, and chicks dig Joe Boo. Just saying. Just saying. Chicks dig Joe Boo. Look behind me. Okay. Bill Payne. Okay, what am I looking at, Bill? Miss Holmes.
I don't know.
Oh, no.
Next.
Next.
Spelling things.
See, Duck? Hey, Duck, yeah. That Ron Zapia, that's some good rum, man.
I think someone wants Joe Boo to run for president in 2020.
I had some people that wanted him to run in 2016, and that might have been the right year. I mean, you had a clown run. Why not a voodoo doll? What's the call-in number? The call-in number is, I've got to go back to it. I'm sorry, I forgot my own number. 903-345 Joe Boo.
Did you know Reggie White's college record was broken today?
No, I did not.
No, you did.
Congratulations, Reggie. Or excuse me.
It wasn't Reggie.
Well, I'm sorry. Congratulations, whoever broke Reggie's. What is Joe Boo's favorite movie? Come on. Major League. Seriously? Oh, looks like we got a troll. Can't spell Dallas without 2 L's. Okay, troll in the house. How many sacks this week? I'm going to say 3. What kind of rum does Joe Boo like? He loves Ron Zappa. Some really good, huh? Some really good rum. North Dallas 40 was another good movie. You're on the Joe Boo Sports Report. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
How you doing, OG Martin? This is one of your watchers.
Hey.
Your YouTube page, Trey Appendix, Virginia.
Oh, cool. How you doing tonight?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. I just wanted to ask a question.
Yeah.
How can we do an NFC title game, considering we ain't been there forever? And, you know, much love and respect to the show, to Joe Boo. And remember, you can't spell Giants without INGS.
There you go.
Look at that. Explain it.
I will explain that later to you. Okay. But I appreciate that. Here's the thing. We haven't been there a long time, but every situation is totally unique because they always try and go through and say, oh, well, the Dallas Cowboys didn't win in December. Oh, blah, blah, blah. You know what? You can go to Vegas and you can spin the roulette wheel. And even if the same number came up 10 times in a row, the odds are that it won't come up again. It's just the way it is. Every situation is different. And I dare say if we get into the NFC Championship game, playing at home, the way our crowd is, if we play our game, there's nobody out there that can beat us. So, we're not having turnovers. If we're not having stupid penalties, we can beat anybody. But with that being said, you can also lose to anybody. All right. Thank you for calling. What else we got tonight, Trey?
Someone wants to know if you take Joe Boo into the shower with you.
No. Joe Boo stays down here in the man cave. Thank you very much. Okay. There's no threesomes with me, my wife, and Joe Boo or anything crazy like that. Okay.
Ew. Why would you put that on people's minds?
Okay. Why would people put that I'm taking a shower with the doll?
It wasn't a three-way you brought into it.
Okay.
Yikes.
There's nothing like that. Okay.
What's the difference between Tommy Eagles, Rob Fat?
Rob Fat. Tommy Eagle is actually he's actually a pretty cool guy. His wife is actually a Dallas Cowboy fan, believe it or not. Rob, I don't know, so I can't tell you that much about him. A high school, come on, Billy. A high school defense can smoke Tony Romo? Come on, man. Let's not go there.
Ooh.
But
Thanks.
I can tell you that Molly is a very beautiful woman, okay? We'll leave it at that. Huh? Molly from First Take?
Oh, Molly Karen?
Yeah.
Inside and out.
Yes, she is. Had breakfast with her once. Let's say home field advantage for once. Yeah, well, the great thing is that typically when I've gone to games in Dallas in years past,
Sorry.
when I've gone to games in Dallas in years past, you kind of have a big mix of Cowboy fans versus whoever we're playing because it's kind of like the destination game. That if you're going to go to an away game, you want to go to Dallas because of that big screen and see what's going on in there. And we haven't really had a home field advantage. This year, it is just unbelievable the way our crowd has been. And I'm hoping that they'll really step it up another notch for the playoffs.
Do you think Witten will retire if they win the Super Bowl?
No. I think Witten is enjoying football so much right now. He's, his body's in fantastic shape. He's not as fast as he used to be, but somehow he still gets open. I don't think he would. EDP is definitely a joke, but hey, EDP, I ain't mad at him. He knows how to get people's attention.
For how long?
Okay.
Joy Taylor looks too much like her brother.
Okay.
Does that mean anything to you?
Not really.
Okay. It's getting a little raunchy.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. Remember, my wife is here, so kind of keep the raunchiness down a bit.
Because I've never heard words like this before.
Yeah. Well, it's Saturday night, and probably the rum's getting kicked around.
It's Friday.
When's Joe Boo's birthday? National Rum Day, August 15th. Did I create the name BTS? Yes, actually I did. Bad Team Syndrome. Yeah, I should trademark it. Actually, I used to do a lot more blogs, but this is so much easier just being able to talk to people. By the time I write down my ideas, get a brainstorm, have my wife edit it, and then put it out there, it was kind of like just too much work. But I wrote that back in 2010, Bad Team Syndrome, and it's very fitting, and it definitely fits the Eagles. It is, the funny thing is we've had a hard time finding tight ends in general since we've had Jason Witten. So if he retires, we're going to have a big hole in there because we don't have a tight end anywhere near his capability. Joe Boo needs a girlfriend. Okay, I've heard that one before. Skip Bayless is going to throw a Super Bowl party. Okay, that'll be interesting. It seems like everybody throws a Super Bowl party down at Super Bowl. That's one thing that's unbelievable. It's truly just a big party.
Do you want to show them Jobu's girlfriend?
No, Jolene, no. We started to make Jobu a girlfriend, but then I started like, if I start making a whole family.
Oh, someone sent you a girlfriend.
Oh, that other one. Oh, okay. Yeah. And I started thinking, if I start making a whole family of these, then I really do kind of cross the line a little bit. Kind of like Tommy Eagle with all his toilet paper roll people. Yeah, it starts to look a little crazy. You never know. We could end up having, if we get into another dogfight with the Giants, it could be that Bailey ends up winning a field goal game in the clutch. You never know. Yes. Me and my wife had breakfast with Molly. Yes. After she did a show back when she used to work for NFL AM. After the show, yeah. yeah. No, actually, it would be too much work to have a whole family of them. I mean, everybody's already giving me a hard time with Jobu not being a seatbelt. What if he had a kid that not a seatbelt? Somebody's call the cops on me. NBA, oh man! See, here's the thing. As far as NBA and baseball and hockey, I am straight up.
You get one season.
One season of what?
One season of any major sport.
Oh, okay. You heard the wife. I get one season of one sport. It's just basketball is just too many games. I am just straight Dallas Cowboys and football. Sorry. Am I a Spurs fan? I'm not really. Pat, thanks for you've been since before the season started. Then Pat, thank you for being one of my early subscribers. It's growing bit by bit, and I thank each and every one of you guys out there. Jobu is better single, yeah, and the ladies like it better with him being single. How did Jobu come about? And where are you guys? I'm actually in Northern Virginia. Jobu came about because of I have a friend, Richard. Make a long story short, because I can see my wife's going to be going, speed it up. Richard's a Steelers fan, and when we had the Super Bowl in Dallas, he was like, dude, if I could go to see my Steelers in just one Super Bowl before I die, well, I couldn't take him. So I got a terrible towel. I got 2 cowboy towels. In fact, this one right here. And everywhere we went in the Super Bowl, we took pictures of it. And these towels ended up going around from James Brown to Phil Simms. Who's who of the NFL were getting pictures taken with this. Well, the next year was going to be in New Orleans. And so I got a couple little voodoo trinkets and was taking them to FedEx Field and taking pictures and stuff. And an Eagle fan said to me, the Dallas Cowboys suck so bad that not even Jobu could help them. Jobu doll for the fun of it. And then some strange things started happening that were all positive with it. And it just kept growing. So that's as quick a story as I can about Jobu. Oh, Tommy Eagle's definitely ready to eat some crow on Monday.
Thoughts on the beef between Des Bryant and Chris Carter?
It seems like everybody's got a beef with Des Bryant because it seems like everybody's always going after me, including Skip Bayless. I think people realize when you talk bad about the Cowboys and you get a reaction, you're getting clicks. And that's the bottom line with a lot of the stuff you hear from, the haters, so to speak. When you say something that's really off the wall, you get attention. And that's what it's about, getting attention.
I have to be honest, what you call it. Sorry. Taco Charlton is having a good game.
Okay.
BTS.
Yeah, bad team syndrome. That's the Eagles.
Patriots are going to win. Patriots are going to win.
Okay.
Do you think it's bad if Dallas loses Sunday? No.
It would be. Here's the thing. It'd be nice for Dak Prescott to have that record there, but he's not playing the whole game. If they lose, they lose. It doesn't matter because the only thing I care about is them getting out healthy.
I'm so glad we earned the right to rest the guys this week.
It's been pretty freaking awesome to know that we've had a playoff spot for as long as we've had. To have it locked up, to have home field advantage, it's just great this year. I mean, you think about all those 8-8 years where it's the last game of the season and we're praying that we can just get into the playoffs. Right now, we're in the driver's seat. We could literally not have to leave Dallas through the Super Bowl, which is unbelievable.
In Texas.
In Texas. In Dallas. Texas.
You
mean there's more to Texas besides Dallas?
Dallas Cowboy Jack wants a shout out.
Dallas Cowboy Jack wants a you got a shout out there, Jack.
How is Anthony Brown?
Anthony Brown's he's in a concussion protocol. He'll be ready to go come playoffs. He's probably not going to be playing this weekend, as well as a lot of the defensive line. They're basically taking the defense and taking them off. They're going to have, of course, 3 quarterbacks playing on the offense. You'll see more of the offense playing than defense.
So this is posing a question for me. If 3 quarterbacks play on Sunday, who gets the win? Who gets the record for the win?
The starting quarterback. Starting quarterback wins. So that's why Dak has to start the game, because he'll get the credit for the win.
Gotcha.
Well,
Mark,
Anthony, you knew more than I did on that one that he practiced today. I missed that one.
Do you think the Falcons are the biggest threat to the Cowboys?
I think everybody's a big threat to the Cowboys. The Falcons have a good offense. Julio Jones is beginning to get back from that turf toe, but their defense, to me, is what they said about the Cowboys suspect. And I think if you punch them in the nose, that they're going to be able to be stopped. Charles Tapper probably will not be playing this year, so he'll be ready to go hopefully next year.
Do you think Zeke will play the entire game?
No, I don't. When you look at what they did last week, because I think he only had 16 carries, or am I wrong on that one? My mind is slipping. It's getting kind of late. They probably will play him a quarter or two series, and get him out of there.
Any news on Charles Tapper?
Charles will probably not be playing any this year. Dak is more famous than Jesus. Okay.
Dak and Zeke are such better friends.
Best friends, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing that you got to love is.
That matters?
I think it does. I think actually, when you really get to know somebody, see, football is not like any other sport, because getting to know guys on a personal level as well as a team level, you know that you can count on them. But you get to the point where maybe it's not played, it's not called. You can kind of give a certain little look and change something up, and he'll know exactly what you're talking about. So I think it's fantastic that this is truly a team, and I think that's part of the reason why they're playing as well as they are, because everybody's been so down on them. They've been telling you that a rookie quarterback can't win the Super Bowl, and every time they doubt Dak, I think it's a motivation for him. The defense has got the chip on the shoulder that they've been told that we're suspect. Sean Lees gets snubbed for the Pro Bowl, even though he's the second leading tackler in the NFL. I think all these things are motivation for these guys, that it's us against the world.
Mark, what's your favorite number and why?
My favorite number? I don't know that I have a favorite number. I would say 94, because that was my number in college, and it used to also be DeMarcus Ware as well. I would also say 12 would be because of Roger Staubach.
Any free agent we need this offseason you can think of?
Haven't gotten that far yet, because I'm still thinking about this season. I'm hoping that we don't do the usual big name free agent, first day type guy. We've been better getting that second tier guy that's trying to get that next contract, that's still hungry. It's hard to be hungry when your refrigerator's full, so to speak, as Doc Walker would say.
Chris White says, Mark, I have McFadden as our X Factor. Thoughts?
He's looking at – that's a good possibility, because he's going to be a free agent, and he's basically auditioning for his next team. And in a way, I think that's what Tony Romo is looking at this as well. He's auditioning to let people know, I'm still healthy, I can still play, give me a fat contract. So, yeah, he could definitely be an X factor, because he's looking to get some just like everybody else.
Aaron Murray wants to know what you're cooking on Sunday for the game.
I was thinking about that today, and I wasn't sure, because I was actually thinking about making cheese steaks. Not those dog meat ones like they eat in Philly, but some real, like, Texas steak subs. And the last question you have tonight, honey?
Why has Morris not been playing?
Morris has actually ripped a bone off of his groin.
Good Lord.
Yeah, and he's been healing. So he's supposedly going to be back in practice next week, and will be ready for the playoffs. And believe it or not, it's been an hour that fast. Can you believe that, honey?
I can.
You can? Are you tired? Do you need a nap? As always, guys, she needs a movie. Hey, guys, as always, I want to thank you guys for all the support, for following, commenting, and being part of the Joe Boo Report. For me, this is fantastic to be able to talk about football, to have the Dallas Cowboys playing the way they are, and especially to be able to include my wife in something that I enjoy so much. So I will see you guys on some of the videos. We'll definitely be live streaming before the game tomorrow, on Sunday, as well as at halftime and after the game. And it will be so nice to have a game in the afternoon instead of night, because those next mornings have been hell on only a couple hours of sleep. So as always, guys, thank you, and keep spreading the mojo.